Hi, everyone. My name is Stephen Snider, and I am one of the organizers of the Next Gen Lead. And I'm really excited for our next interview today. With me, we have Sana, and I met Sana at another conference on sustainable finance called the Step Up Festival, which our friends at Mattervest put together. And I was really impressed by what Sana and her startup are doing in Germany and their plan for helping investors be more sustainable and put their money where it really impacts the world. So I'm not going to give too much of Sana's background. I'll let her tell us about what she does and the mission of Sagefund now.
Hey, thanks for that intro. It was really nice. I'm glad people found the talk inspiring. So what we're doing at Sage Fund, our goal is to make sustainable investing really easy and accessible because right now it isn't. There's like several problems why it isn't. So we're trying to solve them by using technology. So making it digital, making it easy to understand, making it look nice, nice design, intuitive communication, and so on. And then our vision is to make financial advice and financial planning, um, yeah, completely automated and intuitive, so that you can sit in front of your computer, use tools that we build to plan your financial life, and then based on your situation, your needs, and your goals, we recommend you financial products that help you reach those goals faster, more securely, and so on. And but our commitment is that all of the products that we recommend, that they meet basic sustainability criteria, and if possible, making them very sustainable. So that's what we would like to do. So I'm sure all of you are from places everywhere in the world, but our inspiration for Sagefund came from the US, because they have really awesome solutions like personal capital or Wealthfront, where they've basically achieved doing that. But what they didn't do is make their platform sustainable. And we think that in today's world, in this time, and especially also in Europe with a very strong sustainability culture, that we would really like to make that a requirement for all of people's financial decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm really impressed by this because I was in traditional finance and I've moved more into it. I have really realized how impactful my money is on the world,
Yeah.
right? Like even though I don't have a lot of money, I'm just an individual. Like
Yeah.
it adds up, right?
Yeah.
And who knows what my money is doing if it's
Yeah.
invested in oil or the Amazon fires, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't know. And that's also our mission, is to make that information transparent
mm,
to people. So if they invest, we explain very clearly what our criteria are, how they work, also why we made certain trade-offs. I don't want to lie and say, yeah, if you invest with us, it's 100% sustainable. It's not, because this is not how our world works today. And if you want to invest in a globally diversified portfolio and you would like to manage your risk. So basically, making sure that you're spread enough, that you're in enough different asset classes like stocks, bonds, real estate, gold, commodities like timber. Then not all of those have the same sustainability standard, and we kind of have to start somewhere. So we are trying to offer people the best that we can give them without forcing them to not be able to use basic investment principles. Like, we
mm,
really want your portfolios to be constructed as safely as possible, and sometimes there aren't enough investment options for sustainability. So we have to take the best ones there are, and we also explain to you why we made those choices. And I think maybe that makes us a little bit different than some impact investing platforms,
mm,
where it's really about where it's more about the impact and maybe less about your long-term feasibility of what you're buying. So we're
mm,
trying
mm.
to balance those things, and I really hope that people don't feel discouraged by that, but rather see that it's a process to make the world more sustainable.
Right. And
Yeah.
we've come a very far way where
Yeah, totally,
people
totally.
weren't
Yeah.
talking about this before, and now
Yeah.
there's startups like yours
Yeah.
which are
Yeah.
trying to like
Yeah.
move us towards a fully
Yeah.
sustainable process. So it's
Yeah.
part of the journey, right? Like
Yeah.
we will get there if there's enough people who adopt and enough companies that provide solutions like yours.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely if consumers are showing that this is where the interest is, and if they're demanding this from from institutions, say for their pension or their insurance, because pension insurance are not very sustainable at all. I think insurance is probably the worst. If you look at insurance funds, there's almost no sustainable ones, and they don't really
Mhm.
publish their criteria, at least not in Europe or in Germany. Um, but it's been really changing. I think I had personal conversations with people at Luxor, people at UBS, and they are big fund managers. They put ETFs on the market, and they are realizing there's a really strong demand, and almost all the new funds and ETFs that they're putting on the market are based on sustainable criteria or are redoing common markets, but trying to screen them, trying to make them more sustainable, and putting up new funds. And we're using those, and it's very exciting. But these are all new products, and we looked at them. Of course, we analyzed. Okay, did they work in the past, and so on. And it seems pretty safe, but we don't know about the demand. Maybe if in 5 or 10 years these funds aren't that popular, maybe there will be less of them. So I think it's also coming from us consumers to go, no, we really want those, and we want to invest in them, and we want to choose the sustainable options because they're just responding to our preferences.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's really cool to see that interaction between demand and supply. So
Yeah.
what about this though is so interesting to you? Like why did you personally make this choice?
Yeah, so my background originally, when I started working, I was executive assistant at ProVeg, which is a vegan NGO in Europe. It's the biggest of its kind in Europe. And there I was like learning a lot about plant-based food and about agriculture and the business, about the impact it has on the planet, on the water, on people's health as well, on the animals, of course, like how they're being treated. So that was really, I mean, I knew this before, otherwise I wouldn't have wanted to work there. But there I learned it in a lot of detail and connected with professionals that were working on innovative solutions. So I really got interested in this sustainability space. I realized though that NGO was not the right environment for me. I was a lot more driven by like metrics. I wanted to have clear metrics, clear targets, and I want to like optimize for them. I
Yeah.
have that, I'm just like quite
Data driven.
strategic. Yeah, data driven, strategic, rational minded, and I felt I didn't have the best place there. So in a way, finance lends itself very well because they try to quantify everything,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if they can't, they explain their methodological weaknesses, and it's very interesting to learn how do you quantify what your money is doing.
Mhm.
So I got really curious about that, and it also has to do with a personal story, which is my father died when I was very young, and he inherited me and all of my family money, which I could not access until I was when I turned 18. And then
Mhm.
suddenly there was this money, and I did not know what to do with it. And I probably didn't touch it for, I don't know, many years, or I only used it like to fund my education to some extent, to like help me a little bit. But I just didn't touch it, and I was like, what do I do with this? And
Right.
nobody knew, and I didn't want to go to the bank, because I mean I went, and they didn't tell me about sustainable options, and I wasn't they couldn't really explain to me why were the choices a good choice. And then I just went on to learn about it on my own, and I feel like I had a lot of eye-opening moments about
Mm.
it, like, wow, investing is so powerful. Then I realized that most of my friends or family, and even uncles and aunts, and like older, like more senior professionals that I know, aren't doing it and feel completely overwhelmed. And when I started talking to them about it, everyone was so curious. And then I started helping people. I started investing my own money, and then I started becoming the point of contact about it. And
Mhm.
because I have such a strong background in sustainability, and ethics are deeply important to me um, in my life, like yeah, it's like part of my lifestyle. So obviously it should be part of my money too. So I kind of got into it. It's sort of happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to see in doing these interviews how the personal story really dramatically affects our professional life, and like how real responsible leaders, how sustainable leaders like carry these values, these like
Yeah.
competencies in their personal life and in their professional life. And
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
what's that been like for you?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it makes you also a more authentic person, because if you're starting something, then your first interested customers, interested users is people in your network, your friends, your family, their friends, their family, people that you can reach in your environment, and your past professional networks and so on. So they know who you are, you and you would like your business to reflect your values, and it makes your business more authentic, and it makes the relationships more authentic. There is this kind of trust, so when my friends and family and acquaintances and my networks in Berlin and in Europe, when they talk to me, they know that I care about those things,
Mhm.
and they know that I will be sincere about sustainability. And I mean, of course, in the end, you have to prove it. Like, you have to have your numbers, your data, your explanations. You have to make it transparent. But there is already this trust there, because they know that you care about those things.
Right.
But also, the trust doesn't just come from people knowing you are caring or a good person. It also comes from being able to prove that you've done your research. I think it's
Mm.
important as a leader to be able to validate things and to explain them clearly and rationally, because I think trust comes not just from knowing your values, but also knowing that you know how to think and how to make decisions
Mm.
properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Does that, I'm curious, do you think that requires like a lot of work on your part? Like, are you putting in extra time to like,
Yeah.
that interaction can be very short, but you have to do a lot of homework beforehand to
Yes.
get to that one
True.
little point, right?
True, true, true. Yeah, I think maybe I'm not doing it so much right now, but when I was studying psychology and my interest at university, I got really interested in effective altruism then. Don't know if
Okay.
you've heard about
No.
effective altruists. Yeah, it's a global movement of academics, students, and also professionals who are interested on how to do the most good with the least amount of time
Mm.
and resources. So it's kind of very efficiency driven, but for doing good. So, like, the
Mm.
same kind of thinking that businesses would use or economists would use to make profit, they use
Sure.
to do good. So
Sure.
it's kind of like turning it around. So I was really interested in that, and through that I really learned to appreciate, like, data, the power of data, the power of economics, of philosophy, and like rational thinking. So I read a lot of books, and I did courses, and had a lot of long debates on how to reason about decisions, because people who know how to think end up making bigger impact, I
Mm.
believe, and they can articulate themselves clearly, and that's yeah, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, so I did a lot of work there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
And it's cool.
translates into your professional life. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's cool to see how this is all related back to that like personal desire to make change and innovation happen, that you're doing
Yeah.
the homework to get your company to the point to provide a solution to help people. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
what would you like to do? Because we're getting towards the end, what would you like to say to encourage our leaders who are listening now, and what's some final words of inspiration?
I would say that when people see problems in the world, it makes them feel really down. Like, the
Mm.
world is a terrible place, like everything is always being worse. But problems are an opportunity for everyone to contribute. Like the people before us and the people that are working at this point in history with us right now, have like built this world, and they have done amazing things for us. Like, we have like amazing healthcare. We have so much knowledge about the world. There's like so many different ways people can express themselves. There's like so many tools, and I want people to be grateful for that, even if it's not perfect, even if it sucks, even if things are corrupt, like, for sure.
Mm.
But the problems that are there today are problems that people just weren't able to fix now. So
Mm.
this is where we come in. This is where we have an opportunity, where we have a chance, um, to make the world better, you know. And
Mhm.
I'm also a diehard optimist, and I believe the world has gotten a lot better, even if it still sucks. It's
Yeah.
really incredible what we've achieved in terms of innovation, and I want people to think about how we were living just 300 or 400 years ago. How were people's rights? How are people's living conditions? How are they today? Even globally, even if there's still a lot of poverty. And I would go, okay, now think about the next, 500 years, and how can you be part of those people that have made the world better, and just see it as your opportunity to serve and as your opportunity to have a place in the world is to tackle a problem, you know?
That- yeah, I do. That I get a little goosebumps thinking about that. Like that optimism and that positivity is contagious.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's important to surround yourself with people who think in this, like, who have an abundance mindset, who don't think that in scarcity, who think in things expanding and opportunities expanding and freedoms expanding. And how can you be part of making this growth, you know?
Mhm. Mm. Very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Abundance mindsets. I love that very much. Sana,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your
Yeah,
time
thanks
and
for
your
your
positive
time.
words.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it. So how do people find you if they want to connect after
Um,
this?
Good question. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Sanat Al-Badri. I'm sure you can maybe put that somewhere. And then if you're interested in Sage Fund, you can just go on sagefund.eu and you can look at our site. And if you want, you can sign up to our waiting list. I'd be really excited if you did that. And then we will send updates on our product launch, but we will also teach people about investing and sustainability, and just keep you up to date on our fintech. So yeah.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for your time and you have
Yeah.
a great day.
Yeah, thank you too. Have a great day as well. Bye.
Take care.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.